But the weekend box office, there isn't really anything new coming out besides Spiral by Lionsgate and Those Who Wish Me Dead. There aren't really many big releases coming out next week as well. The last week of this month is going to be the first big two releases. But first is Spiral, which is actually a new Saw movie. This movie goes to $8 million. It's probably not. If don't know the budget for the movie, they don't have it here. But it is probably gonna do just like every other Saw movie. Basically, the Saw movies don't really do too well at the box office because they're horror movies, and again, surprisingly, we don't have horror movies go see $1 billion, since everybody, apparently online, everybody loves horror movies, but the box office doesn't seem to say the same thing. Yeah, and we're gonna go at the budget of the movie. It's around $20 million, so this movie will probably eventually make back its money. And needs needs to make around $40 to $45 million to make back its money as well. And the problem is that another horror movie is coming out in 2 weeks, A Quiet Place Part 2. And again, Hollywood releases so many horror movies that they're all competing with each other. For example, early 2020 box office, literally every week we had a horror movie. Next we have Wrath of Man, which went down to $3.7 million. There's still no real budget for this movie. It's doing okay at the box office here. Budget for Wrath, actually gonna look up Wrath of Man's budget. It's around $40 million. Yeah, $40 million budget. Oh, that's another movie. So Wrath of Man, we don't know the real budget for the movie. Here. Here. It says here, Wrath of Man has a $40 million budget on this article. But that's probably, I think that's a different movie. Here. Yeah, that's the Mechanic Resurrection. Gross, no budget here. Yeah, that's not the budget. It's the budget of a different movie. So Wrath of Man, we don't know the real budget for the movie yet. So there we go. Here we don't know the real budget for the movie. For Wrath of Man, next is Demon Slayer, the movie, which is doing much better than anyone has expected. Could have passed $500 million globally. It doesn't have an extremely good ratings because it was supposed to be a limited release. We don't know how long it will be in theaters, but it has made $42 million. It probably won't pass the Pokemon movies at all, but it's still in a lot of theaters, 1,930. It is now losing theaters now, so it is declining at the box office, 49% decline at the box office, basically here. Next is Those Who Wish Me Dead. Don't know the budget for this movie, but apparently we have another flop on our hands. Those Who Wish Me Dead has Angelina Jolie in it. Do not like her at all there. And yeah, the budget probably is like around 10 to 20 million. So this movie is probably going to be a flop as well. So, good. I wonder why it's a flop. But next is Raya and the Last Dragon. Surprisingly, has always dropped 11%. It still is a massive flop at the box office. This movie's budget is around like at least over $100 million. North of $100 million. Like $125 to $130 million budget. So this movie didn't even pass its budget yet. And this movie is a big, massive failure. We all know what it is. You can use the whole thing of Disney Plus, but the iron culture of Disney Plus won't tell you how well this movie is, because they were saying this movie might have been a flop, just like Mulan was we all know was a flop as well. The amount of money made on Disney Plus did not make up for the amount of money lost in theaters. So yep, there we go. So next is Godzilla vs. Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong has become a massive success. It has made $95 million domestically and $342 million, as of course excluding HBO sales as well. And of course, in international you only get a certain amount of Chinese sales there as well. So, but the movie still is a big success outside of America, making so much money in China, making so much money in countries like Mexico and Russia. So in Australia, it's still having pretty, and of course not every country has had updated numbers. For example, Russia hasn't had an update since like April. So, you know, I don't think we have the full complete box office for Godzilla vs. Kong. I think it's around like 442 million to 443 million. If you include the updated box office for probably lots of countries. Or it's probably around 429 million. Something like that. You know, it's, and of course it's excluding the record HBO Max sales that came from Godzilla vs. Kong, which I think helped this movie as well. So next is Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is a flop. I think it's the next big flop. It is bottoming out here. It isn't doing too well. It is bottoming out, you know, there. Again, who knows how many sales it is on HBO Max. And then we have 2 new movies down here, and Tom and Jerry and like The Unholy and stuff. Movies that have been out for like weeks now. And yep, that's basically it about this video. Goodbye.